Charisma. I don't know about you, but it has always been strange to me that people try to define the quality that a person must have to become charismatic. It's like asking what books you need to read to become smart, or where to invest your money to avoid losing 100%. If everything were so obvious, our system would have collapsed long ago. And whenever I come across a video of a blogger explaining how to gain charisma with the help of 5 rules of behavior and pumped up facial expressions, I think, well, here it is. As it turns out, all this time people simply did not know that they needed to dress neatly and clearly convey their thoughts to win attention. And I was wondering where so many charismatic personalities came from today. But it's not so much that charisma is strong, but rather that it's a universal skill. With the help of pumped up charisma, you can succeed in almost anything where you need to contact people. I think charm and manipulation go together. Many people are in vain afraid of gangsters, sports people, or security forces, what they can do compared to an artist. After all, while grappling was pumping up his athleticism, the artist was pumping up his charisma. And although he failed to become an artist, he certainly left his portrait in history. I think that the scale of charisma directly depends on the scale of the personality, that is, the person's ego.
Для чего ты встаешь рано, пренебрегаешь людскими удовольствиями и пьешь матчу? И он смотрел на меня, как обычно сектанты смотрят на людей, которые отказываются целовать жопу Хэнку. Ну, вы знаете этих людей, которые вдруг решили, что именно они живут правильно, и именно их бог истинный, а остальные чисто так массовка. И с подобным выражением он говорит, ну вообще-то, чтобы быть продуктивным. Я как истинный пироман спросил, а что дальше? Он ответил, ну, продуктивность помогает мне делать больше полезных дел за день. Ну, в принципе, звучит логично, но до тех пор, пока мы не вспоминаем, что жизнь состоит из бесконечного гринда, и что цель подобных типов гриндить еще больше, чем нужно, чтобы освободить время для еще большего гринда. И спрашиваю у него, ну получается, раз ты продуктивный, ты тратишь время на работу и саморазвитие, значит, у тебя есть цель, верно? Он отвечает уверенно «да». Ну тогда все понятно, ведь именно цель может стать показателем твоей работы, ради которой ты стал продуктивным. И тут он выдает, чтобы стать богатым и жить так, как я захочу. Не думайте, что это какой-то сломанный вид змейки Уроборос. Не тратить свое свободное время на чушь вроде видеоигр, фильмов, друзей в молодости, чтобы на накопленные деньги купить себе время на те же игры,
You can even hate them, but you can't say that they are not charismatic. There are many precedents when people themselves began to open sex, idolize criminals, and imitate them. Even in cinema, many people are attracted to crazy people like the Joker or Hannibal Lecter, and in anime, authors try to give originality to both the antagonist and the protagonist. After all, as Disney said, until a character becomes a personality, he is not believable. No one is interested in an empty one. Image. Ideal characters in work serve as irony and nothing more. From this we can refute the second statement that charisma is a set of certain qualities. And the key word is certain. Qualities can be different in their experience. I can say that charisma is a combination of many factors that can be repulsive individually. But in fury, the combinations will play out in such a way that the consequences can be read in history books. After all, as the saying goes, no matter how beautiful, intelligent, and talented a person is, if he or she lacks charisma, the chance of remaining in someone's memory is 0. You must admit that it would be strange if all charismatic personalities who have ever lived on our planet had the same qualities. Good, bad, evil or kind, brave or cowardly. These are just our value judgments. They have no bearing on a person's charisma. I believe that charisma can be pumped up, but not in those primitive ways. Oddly enough, in our world, those who succeed are those who develop their personality first and foremost. How can you follow a person who chooses to be convenient for others instead of yourself? If you are nothing of yourself, what kind of charisma can we talk about? Of course, we use pieces of other personalities in one way or another, but only to form our own. We don't just copy them, To become a personality, you need to develop first and foremost for yourself, to dress as you like, not to follow the fashion of speaking as you like. And only by forming a full-fledged personality can we arouse the sincere interest of other people. You know, these books make sense. but only if a person already has charisma, and the types who, after reading such literature, wave their hands and look into their souls during communication, squeezing their hand hard, look at least repulsive. After all, as elsewhere, normal people feel falsehood. Confidence must come from within. There is no need to cosplay a charismatic person. It's the same as putting an actor playing a fighter in the octagon against a real fighter. That's the end of it. It is also obvious that I have noticed many people confuse the concept of a charismatic person, not necessarily a beautiful, well-read, or radiant smile. After all, charismatic personalities can be absolutely anything. In our history, there have been millions of charismatic people, athletes, politicians, criminals, geniuses, and idiots. They were so distinctive and interesting that even just watching a movie where a completely different person plays a role and shows only a small part of their life, which only imitates the image of a person, can cause a storm of emotions and great interest in this person. We care about a person whom we have not even seen or heard their voice. Many people hold them up as an example, and some even imitate them, despite the fact that they have been dead for tens, hundreds, or even thousands of years. We can say that their personality in the past changed the fate of people. In the present, you can also admire people you see only on the internet, feel their charisma through time and space. This tells us that all this clowning around with tight smiles and straight posture is just another product that can be sold to those who don't want to look into it. You may say that it's trite, but the point is precisely this trite truth. That to be and to be. These are different things. As the saying goes, I'd rather be hated for who I am than loved for who I'm not. If you've read or listened to stories about how to acquire charisma, you're probably familiar with it. It's a miracle, a quality, a finder. You'll become a top person in terms of charisma, a quality in terms of calm, steady. You're as sensible as a lot of punks. Scumbags, psychopaths, and just plain crazy people can be removed from the list of charismatic personalities. To verify this statement, there are 100 of them, and that 1,000 includes everyone's favorite freaks like